Today we're working on the third movement of the Marcello Sonata, the Largo movement. Welcome back. Welcome to the studio. My name is Cassie and I'm a professional violist and teaching artist. Today we're working on the third movement of the Marcello Sonata, and we're going to go again measure by measure and just talk through a few things, and then we'll do our at-tempo playthrough because it's a slow movement. So let's start right in the beginning. We're going to be just in first position to start. Now here we've got a shift and a clef change. So if you need a reference for treble clef, I'm going to post a video that I made for that up above. But for right now, it's third position on the D string and the note is B. So it would be first finger on the A string, same note. So we're gonna practice that shift a couple of times. So that measure starts up bow. Now I'm going to shift on the G string to third position. So my shift is really to a D. And then I'm going to plot my 3. Let's try that a couple times. We're starting at the beginning of that measure with our F sharp. Do our shift to D and then plop a whole step away, not touching on the A string, the D string. Do that one more time. Plop on the D string. Now eventually we're going to want to take out that guide finger shift, so we're going to do it this time silently. Now you may need to practice this more times sounding that shift before it feels comfortable, but this time we're going to do it silently. So we're starting at the beginning of the measure, shift up silently, plop that third finger. And I'm using my tuner to double check to make sure that I'm in tune, and I would highly recommend that you do that as well. Now really this is an octave shift. We're going from low B to high B, so you should be able to hear that too. Once that shift feels comfortable, you can move on. So if you need to pause the video right now and practice that a few times, give it a quick pause. I'm going to continue on, and I'm starting from the beginning of the second measure, which is an up bow on that F sharp. Silent shift. Now we've come to our next shift. If I put my fourth finger down and I don't change positions, that's the note G, but we need the note A. So again, we're going to practice that shift. I'm going from second finger E to F sharp. Let's try that again. From second finger E, up a whole step to F sharp. And then I can plop that 4. I'm shifting to F sharp for a couple of reasons. One, it's in the key signature, and 2, we're going to come to that note in 3 notes. So it's A, G, and we're right back to that F sharp. So usually we want to shift at half steps, but here, because we have F sharp in the key, we want to shift to that F sharp. So let's try that shift one more time. We're going to start with second finger in third position on the A string, which is the note E. Make that shift to F sharp. Now plop your 4. You can double check this because it's your harmonic, and you can also use a tuner to double check that, or you can use your open A string. So let's try that shift again. Find your second finger, shift, plop. Now might be a good time to pause the video and just practice that a few times if you need to. Same thing that we did with that last shift. So we're going to continue on in the third measure. I'm starting from that second finger E, which is an up bow. And this time I'm just going to sound the shift because we need practice at it. It's a difficult shift. Plop 4, whole step to 3, a half step to 2, whole step to 1. And then we have another shift. This is just a half step shift backwards to D sharp. So from your E to your D sharp, just a very quick click shift backwards half a step. So we're going to try that whole sequence one more time. Set your 2 in third position. Silently do your shift. Plop your 4. Half step shift. And then we're going to cross third finger to the D string. Let's try that whole sequence again. Find your 2. Shift. Half step shift. Cross 3. And that's back to the note that we shifted to initially when we went to treble clef. So we're going to do that whole thing from the pickup to the third measure with your third finger on the D string. Shift. Shift. Now, when we have, in the Baroque period or the classical period, when we have these eighth notes, we don't want to just play straight eighth notes. We always want more, less, more, less. This helps to shape the line a little bit and helps with our interpretation. So let's put all those pieces together. Let's go back to the beginning, and I'll talk through as we get to those shifts. 1. Shift on the G string. Shift. Shift. Now next is indicated a 2, but I want you to do this in first position. I think it's a lot easier. We want to avoid shifts under slurs. So if I did the fingering that's indicated, it's going to be really hard to keep that clean. So we're just going to start it in first position. Now, same idea here, more, less. And we have a diminuendo. Our trill in measure 6 is going to start on our third finger. Trills in this period start from above the note. More or less. Trill starts on 2. Now here's another shift to third position. I'm shifting on the D string to G. So I'm bringing my first finger to third position. Let's try that shift one more time. Now I'm going to plot my 2 on the A string. Let's do that one more time. First finger, shift to G, plop 2. Now once you find that 2, the D sharp, which is the next note, is a half step, so your fingers will touch. So I'm going to go from measure 9. Shift. Here we've got to shift to second position. So really your first finger is already on D. We just need to take our first finger and go backwards a half step to C sharp. So I'm starting in measure 11 with that E, taking my 1 and shifting back a half step to C sharp. And that's second position. I'm going to stay there for that trill. Now I just played E with 3. I'm going to replace that with my 2. So I'll talk through that one more time. Measure 11 is third position to start. Reach back to second position. Trill 3, 2. Now replace that 3 you just played with a 2, which brings you back to third position. We've got a crescendo here. Back to alto clef, still third position. Take your 1 and shift back to first position, and we're going to start that trill from 3. Now that we've talked through some of the technical aspects of this movement, we're going to do our playthrough. My metronome is set to 50, and that's my quarter note. And I'll count 1, 2, 3, 1 before we begin. 1, 2, 3, 1. job on your playthrough. I know this is a short movement, but there's a lot of technical things in it. There's shifting, there's vibrato, there's phrasing. If there's anything that I didn't cover in the video that you'd like me to go over, please post that in the comments below. I really enjoy trying to help from afar. Thank you so much for joining me, and happy practicing.